So I'm trying to 100% my Steam library, and it's become quite difficult as I'm pushing close to 250 games owned. For the last couple of years, I've gotten into the habit of wasting my money on Steam like everybody else. I'll buy a game, play it for a couple of hours, and completely drop it to never touch it again. So if I actually want 100% every game I have, I need to go back into the landfill that is my Steam library and finish off the games that I gave up on. And to start, I'm going to tackle one of the most beloved franchises in gaming, BioShock. This game doesn't need much of an introduction. If you're watching this, I'm sure you've played it or at least heard of it, but if you haven't, it's pretty much Fallout Resident Evil, but underwater. I put a couple of hours in the first one, but obviously didn't get far. However, we are starting with 7 out of 65 total achievements. In order to get the rest of them, we're going to need to do 2 playthroughs, then go through all the DLC. Technically, you can get it all done in one, but the idea of going for all the collectibles while playing on the hardest difficulty actually makes me want to jump off a bridge. If you're at all interested in seeing if I'm able to 100% my Steam library, make sure to subscribe and follow along with this crazy journey because there are some absolute doozies to come. For my first playthrough, I'm just going to play through the game on the easiest difficulty and enjoy myself before I get my shit kicked in later on. During this run, I'm going to prioritize all the collectibles and missable achievements because there are a ton of them to find throughout the game. I'll talk more about those as they come up, but for now, our character is currently on a Malaysian Airlines flight. After the crash, we swim to a lighthouse that just so happens to be the entrance to an underwater city called Rapture. How convenient. Shortly after entering the city, a guy named Atlas calls us on a radio, and he acts as our guide on how to survive in Rapture. In the first area, we get acquainted with plasmids. These are genetic powers that help us fight off enemies, and after shooting up a random liquid and falling off a balcony, we can now use Sith lightning. Also, early on, you learn a hacking minigame, which kind of plays like Where's My Water or a similar mobile game. There are 7 achievements for hacking different things, and I had previously gotten all of them except for hacking a security camera and for successfully completing 50 hacks. However, the first achievement we get in this video is for hacking the security camera. Not long after, we run into the mascot of the game, a Big Daddy. These act as bodyguards to the little sisters, and if we kill one, we can either harvest or rescue the little sister for Adam. Adam is currency that the whole city runs off of and can be used to purchase upgrades or other plasmids. There are also 2 achievements tied to Big Daddies and Little Sisters, and in order to get both of them, we're going to need to make sure we rescue all of the Little Sisters. The first level of the game ends with a boss fight against a guy named Dr. Steinman, and you get an achievement for killing him. But before moving on to the next level, I took some time looking for all the audio logs. In every section of the game, you can find these cassette tapes scattered around, and these are the main form of collectible. And as you can probably guess, there is an achievement for collecting all 122 of them in one playthrough. So after every level, I made sure that I collected them all. In the second section of the game, you talk to a guy named Peach Wilkins who sends you on a mission to find a camera and take pictures of some splicers. So we find a camera, channel our inner Nightcrawler, and take some pictures of the one in the room next to us, which gives us another achievement. Now, when you take a picture of an enemy, you'll start to research it, and it'll help you do more damage to that enemy type. Truthfully, I never noticed a difference, but that doesn't really matter because about a third of the game's achievements are for researching the enemy types. While taking the pictures, we do get another achievement and return back to Peach Wilkins. After letting you in, we just start fighting him. I guess I missed a piece of dialogue because I had no idea it was him until he was dead and I was going through his pockets.
My fault, OG. No, ain't no my fault. Run your pockets, yo.
Right before we go to the next area, you can find your first weapon upgrade station. These are scattered throughout the game, and if you find all of them, you can get another 7 achievements. And we get one of them here when we upgrade our first weapon. After your escape attempt turns into an Ocean Gate situation, you fall back into the next area, but right before that, I was able to get another achievement for fully researching the Leadhead Splicer. This level is called Arcadia, and it is full of plants that are responsible for the city's oxygen. However, Andrew Ryan, the founder of Rapture, releases a chemical into the air that'll kill off all the plants and you. In order to progress, we need to go around collecting different ingredients to make an antidote for the poison. While going around looking for quest items, I was able to fully research the Houdini Splicer and the Thuggish Splicer, getting both of those achievements. This area also introduced a new vending machine called the U-Invent. Here you can take crafting material found off splicers and loot boxes to make different types of ammo or other useful items. There are a couple of crafting related achievements, but we do get one of them for making our first invention. Once we make the antidote and put it in the filtration system, the gas clears up and we get the achievement, Restored the Forest. The next section of the game is Fort Frolic, which is pretty much underwater Vegas. It's run by a guy named Sander Cohen, who has a little too much in common with Dexter Morgan. This freak Bob has you running around hunting for people, killing them, and taking a picture of their corpse for his masterpiece. While doing all of that, I was able to get quite a few achievements. I got 2 for fully researching the Spider Splicer and the Rosy Big Daddy type, another 2 for fully upgrading 2 different weapons, 1 for buying a plasmid slot. I took my first picture of the Bouncer Big Daddy and got an achievement for taking at least 1 picture of every enemy type, and another for successfully hacking 50 things. After I got all 4 of the pictures, I took some time to get the Lucky Winner achievement. To get this, you have to hit a jackpot on one of the many slot machines found throughout the level. It took like 30 minutes of me looking like those old people tapping away their social security in order to finally get it. Once I completed his masterpiece, I got an achievement for doing so, and Sander Cohen finally came out of hiding. I quickly killed him and took a picture of his body for, you guessed it, another achievement. Now, this ended up being a massive blunder. I didn't really watch a guide on how to get all the achievements, so when I saw that one of them was for taking a picture of his corpse, I didn't think twice about putting him down.
Anyway, I started blasting.
I'll get into why this was a bad idea in a little bit, but for now, let's move on. Nothing too notable happens in the next level, but I was able to fully research the Little Sister, the Bouncer Big Daddy type, fully upgrade a 3rd weapon, and get the achievement for collecting or inventing 53 tonics. 53 sounds like a lot, but they're relatively easy to find throughout the levels, and some can be bought with Adam or invented with crafting material. In the next section of the game, we finally come face to face with Andrew Ryan. Atlas tells him to kill him, so we do so, and we get another achievement. After Ryan is dead, we find out that Atlas's real name is Frank Fontaine, and he's been controlling us this whole time using the phrase, "Would you kindly?" Fontaine leaves us for dead, but we escape through a vent with the help of some little sisters. The next level has us start in a dungeon full of children. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see any of this, just like what we're all supposed to do with the Epstein files, right? A woman tells us that we can stop Fontaine from controlling us by finding and drinking 2 doses of his plasmid's antidote. So I set off to find the chemicals, but I made sure to stop and rob the children blind before I go.
Give me that shit.
Before finding the dosages, I was able to fully research the Nitro Splicer, fully upgrade a 4th weapon, and get the achievement for fully researching everything in the game. Thank God I don't have to take any more pictures.
Is that all?
Also, if I had kept Cohen alive back in Fort Frolic, I would have been able to get into his apartment and get this achievement for finding his secret room. On top of this, there's also a weapon upgrade station inside of his apartment, so by killing him, I cucked myself out of 2 achievements. After finding both of the bottles and breaking Fontaine's mind control, we get another achievement, and it's time to hunt him down. The goal of this next section of the game is to become a Big Daddy in preparation for the fight against Atlas. I was able to get quite a few achievements while doing this, so let's speed through them. I got Ammo Inventor for crafting all ammo types, maxed 1 track for buying all slots for a plasmid or tonic, maxed all tracks for purchasing all tonic or plasmid slots, fully upgrading a 5th weapon, dealing with every little sister, and then Historian for finding every audio diary. We become a Big Daddy and come face to face with Atlas. The fight itself is pretty standard. Once you lower his health, you suck Adam out of him and he starts another phase. You do it 3 times and a gang of little sisters gives him what I can only imagine is a proper British welcoming. Then, once the final cutscene ended, I got the achievement, Little Sister Savior, for completing the game without harvesting any little sisters. After the fight, I realized that there was one more achievement I can get in this playthrough, and it was Avid Inventor for crafting 100 items. Now, I had nowhere close enough material to do this, but if you go back to the B room in the farmer's market, you can infinitely farm splicers. Every time you search one of these boxes, it'll spawn a splicer by the door, so I sat here for like 15 minutes until I had enough to get the achievement.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Alright, at this point I'm missing 6 achievements in the base game, the 2 that I wasn't able to get because I killed Cohen back in Fort Frolic, and another 4 being difficulty related. You can get these for beating the game on hard, survival, on hard without Vita Chambers, and then survival without Vita Chambers. When I first found this out, I about shit myself because I thought I had to play the game 4 times through. But by the grace of God, the devs or Steam made these achievements stackable, so if you beat the game in survival without the use of Vita Chambers, all 4 of them will pop. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a lot better, but it's still not going to be easy. Not only is this game just stupidly difficult on survival, but Vita Chambers are the blue pods where you respawn after you die. So if you do die while going for this achievement, you'll have to load a previous save. Now, if you've played this game before or really anything like it, you're probably thinking, you can save this game whenever you want. Why don't you just keep saving before any fight or whenever you need to? Yeah, you're right. That would make the most sense, but I'm stupid. I couldn't begin to count the amount of times I died to then realize I haven't been saving and lost like 30 minutes of progress. Realistically, this is very doable. You just have to play cautious and be disciplined about saving. But honestly, it's more annoying rather than a fun, challenging experience. When you're struggling with something in games like Dark Souls or Cuphead, there's usually a reason for that, whether that be you don't have a specific item or weapon that would make the fight easier, or you simply just don't understand the boss's moveset. But in this, it just lowers your HP while simultaneously increasing enemy damage resistance. To me, this makes the combat feel more tedious and a slog to play through, but hey, I could just be ass at the game. After struggling my way back to Olympus Heights and making sure not to kill the fish-looking motherfucker, we can finally get the achievement for getting into his secret room. Also, I guess the weapon upgrade achievement keeps track of your progress from different playthroughs, because I fully upgraded the flamer in the farmer's market during the Arcadia level, and it just popped. So cool, I guess. After getting those 2 achievements, it was time to finish up the rest of the game and start the Atlas fight, which I was not too excited for. I ended up dying quite a few times, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The most annoying part were the drones and the enemies that he'd spawn in on the later phases that would just end up shooting me in the back while I focused on the actual boss.
Start digging in your butt, twin.
But if you use your telekinesis plasmid and throw the explosive barrels that are littered around the boss arena at him, it makes things a lot easier. Then, once we finally poke him a 4th time, all 4 difficulty achievements pop. The BioShock DLC is pretty simple. It's just 3 levels that have nothing to do with the main story, and they play very similarly to the trial chambers in Portal. Each level has 4 achievements associated with them, and most of them are the same. In each level, you can get an achievement for finding all the Rose collectibles, beating it within a certain amount of time, and just completing it. The Iron Team is a puzzle level that has you rescue a little sister by killing a Big Daddy without the use of any weapons. This sounds a lot harder than it really is, but you just use plasmids to lure out a Big Daddy in front of some missile turrets, and it doesn't take long.
The missile knows where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it isn't.
I then played the level 2 more times, first going for all the roses, and then beating it in under 3 minutes to get those 2 achievements. The last one for this level is for beating it without destroying any turrets. This took me a couple of tries because there's a second where you destroy like 6 of them in order to get to the other half of the level. But when going for this achievement, you just gotta crank down the difficulty and pray.
Now that's a lot of damage!
The next level is called A Shocking Turn of Events, and it's another puzzle level. The goal here is to rescue a little sister that's stuck on a Ferris wheel. To do that, you have to find unconventional ways to provide electricity to the switch and bring her down. On my first run of the level, I found all 10 roses in completing it, which gave me 2 achievements. Next, I focused on beating it in under 4 minutes. This is really easy once you get familiar with the route and can be done with a decent amount of time to spare.
You wanna see me do it again?
The 4th achievement is called Master Electrician, and it's for charging the Ferris wheel a total of 9 times. It takes 6 to rescue the little sister, so you need to find a few other ways to shock the switch. The trick here is finding all the crafting materials that are scattered around and the auto hack tool stuck in the ice. Using these, you can craft enough ammo to hit the switch 9 times. The final level is a gauntlet that has you run through 8 rooms killing enemies without dying. Each room has a rose to find and a different variation of enemies, some being harder than others.
Hello, motherfucker.
One of the achievements in this level is for beating it with only a wrench and plasmids on medium difficulty or higher, so I started there. The only difficult part about this achievement was going against the Big Daddies. They did way too much damage to just get up close and start wailing on them. What I found to be the most helpful was the Bee Swarm Plasmid. I didn't use it much in the actual game, but here it worked wonders. This distracts the enemies while doing damage, so I would throw those out, then swing the shit out of the wrench. Then once I completed the level, those 2 achievements popped. The speedrun achievement for this level is to beat it in under 15 minutes on medium or higher difficulty. I initially thought that this was going to be easy, and it wasn't until I was 11 minutes deep, with over half the rooms to go, that I realized that there might be a better way to do this. There is, and it's just by using the crossbow. This thing is stupidly broken, and once you pick that thing up, it's wraps. Then, to get the final achievement, I replayed the level for a 3rd time on easy, making sure to pick up all the roses. Not sure why I didn't do this during the first playthrough, but f*** it, we're done. And finally, that is 100% in BioShock. I had an absolute blast with this one, and I can't believe it took me this long to play it. It totally holds up for a game that's almost 20 years old, but that's probably because this is the remastered edition. It took me about 26 hours to get all the achievements in this game, which is just slightly over the expected 23 hours on howlongtobeat.com. If you liked the video, leave a like or let me know in the comments, and consider subscribing. It's free, and I would really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys.